It's Amanda calling me. Hello?
Hello, is this Hector?
Yeah, this is Hector.
Hi, Hector. It's Amanda.
Yes, this is Hector.
Hi. So, what's going on with your unit? It's empty.
I had to leave for my safety, and I was basically ran out of there. I don't know entirely who's responsible for this. I've tried making police reports, and the police department is extremely unwelcoming to want to listen to anything, given the idea that some of the circumstances that have been following me. The individual downstairs that lives below me had followed me all the way from Lawrence Community Shelter, where my sister was working, all the way harassing me there, and all the way to live in an apartment below me. I don't know who told this person why, of all the odds, why somebody would be following me and stalking me when I'm at a Lawrence Community Shelter where my sister is working, and showing up to an apartment across the United States to live below me and harass me with some sort of electronic devices. I was literally ran out of there. I have to
So,
leave.
you're talking about the old man that lives below you?
Correct.
You do know that he's been living on that property 15 years, correct?
No, he hasn't. Well, this person, if he had been living there for 15 years, he was at the Lawrence Community Shelter. He was there. 100%. He was there. I don't know why this individual was there. And regardless of that circumstance, there is some sort of electronic device in there that is severely electrocuting me. I don't know if some frequency device that's being used. Literally ins and outs. This individual is hitting the walls inside the apartment below me. And every time he hits the walls, there's some sort of electrical current that's electrocuting me while I'm there. And he is doing this sitting there along with a few other residents, the one that was also living across from me on the other side, playing along with this. I don't want to leave my apartment. I didn't want to go somewhere else to pay more than $400 a month and abandon $1,400 deposit that I gave for that apartment. And within the first few months is when it started. And I have not said one word because the police department doesn't want to get involved and do anything. Now, I have to leave for my safety. I've been harassed and threatened enough at that property. And your maintenance people have been extremely disrespectful and very threatening toward me and using some sort of electronic device as standing in front of my family pictures and waving his hand at me, letting me know he's some sort of control over my mother and my siblings and what's going on with my personal life, with my relationships with them. I don't like the fact that somebody thinks they can do this to me. I don't like being threatened by Brad either. I have been nothing but polite and kind and respectful.
What do you mean threatening by Brad?
Like I said, I don't want to be a part of this. I don't like these individuals about what's going on. I like my freedom. And I don't like people telling me and whatever recording devices that there is inside that apartment. But there is an electronic device that is inside that apartment that is violently shooting my body. Physical, like a taser, like an electrical volt. Someone who is shooting an electrical volt into my physical body, where there is a physical sensation and just toying with me. And that's all that this person, not only downstairs, was doing, but there's some other residents there, but it was a person that was mainly downstairs below me that was doing that. When I first moved in, that person tried to barge and push through my door when I first moved in. I don't know who they were. I'm not kidding. I opened the door and before I could even open the door, they turned to open the knob and pushed through my door as I'm standing in front of it and pushed the door violently toward me like they're breaking into my apartment. I had just moved in, and I was still very polite that somebody is actually even doing that.
Okay, so what I'm going to need for you is for you to send me an email telling me that you are not returning back to the unit, okay?
Are you keeping it? There's 2 months left. The $1,400 does cover those 2 months. that does cover those 2 months. But I don't know how the process of late fees and broken leases fees and whatever that goes on. Will I be,
I'm not sure of that process either. I'm going to have to talk with my higher ups and find out.
is there any of my deposit that will be returned to me?
I am not sure, but I will let you know via email.
Okay.
Okay? So please send me an email that you are not planning to return to the unit.
For my safety,
And then,
for whatever weapon that they're using on me, I am not allowed to stay at the apartment. There's not a human being that could stay in that apartment.
okay. Please send me just an email stating that you are not planning to return back to the unit, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Thank you.
So I have to leave that apartment. Like I said, I'm going to send them an email saying, I will not be returning to the apartment unit. Keep me posted on how much, if any, my deposit will be returned to me. This motherfucker was at that shelter. It was him. 100%. He was one of the individuals that when I was forced to take a shit, had me sit down on some feces or some shit like that. It was fucking disgusting. It was